Hi all, Adi here from Haunts and Jaunts. Join me as we explore the notorious Hellfire Caves. Deep beneath the hills of Buckinghamshire lies a secret world carved from chalk and flint, a labyrinth of tunnels, chambers and shadows, the notorious Hellfire Caves of West Wycombe. These caverns are not just the work of natural forces, but of human hands, with motives that are equal parts practical, aesthetic and excess. Work was carried out between 1748 and 1752, and the chalk that was dug out was used to build a new road between West Wycombe and High Wycombe. So this employment was provided by Sir Francis Dashwood, who was trying to help out the locals who unfortunately had had 3 successive harvests failed, and hunger and poverty had set into the local village. Apparently there's ghosts down here, which is part of the reason why we visited. But there's a plaque here about the ghosts in the cave, and there's 2 that are supposed to be seen. One of them's Paul Whitehead, and there are many people who may have had reason to haunt the caves, but none more so than Paul Whitehead. He was the steward of the notorious Hellfire Club. On his death, he left £50 to Sir Francis Dashwood for the purchase of an urn to be deposited in the Dashwood mausoleum. We'll be going up there on another video after this, so that his heart could be placed inside the urn and remain with the Dashwoods forever. But in 1829, it said that an Australian soldier, he stole the heart, and the urn was then placed in the caves for the safekeeping. Paul Whitehead's ghost is reported to haunt the caves, searching for his heart. So they've never allocated his heart, but I believe the urn is down there. And then the White Lady is the other ghost, called Suki, and she was a servant girl in the 19th century. She worked at the George and Dragon Tavern down in the local village of West Wycombe, and she rejected the advances of 3 local village boys who had set their sights on her becoming their bride. So one day a wealthy young man paid a visit to the inn, and Suki, who saw him as a prospective husband, set about ensnaring him. They hatched a plan, the local boys, to teach her a lesson, and they sent a letter purported to come from a suitor informing her that he wished to elope with her and asked to meet him at the caves in her wedding gown. She arrived at the caves only to find that the 3 spurned lads had pranked her. And then the prank turned to tragedy, and the stones were thrown in a temper. It knocked her unconscious, and she later died, and it's said to be her ghost in her wedding gown that haunts the caves. But even as the chalk is hoisted and the tunnels are dug, something darker stirs. Sir Francis was known for his taste of grand tours, for exploiting classical mythology, and for pushing the boundaries of elite society. So he begins to imagine something more than a quarry. He dreams of pageantry, of ritual, of musing in candlelight, far removed from polite society. So here comes the Hellfire Club. It was officially born. It bore names originally like the Order of Knights of West Wycombe, the Brotherhood of St Francis, the Friars of St Francis of Wycombe, but the name Hellfire Club was whispered later, and it was a club born of scandal, satire and rumours. "22" in Roman numerals etched into the stone. Now this is quite amusing. Please tell me that's just heat emanating off me on the camera. Can you guys see it? It is. It's the heat. Can you see the heat emanating off me? It's either that or a ghost is manifesting itself behind me. How strange. You can see it on the camera. It's like a mist. So, anyway, sorry, that threw me off. So take 20 steps. So there's remnants of 18th century poems referring to a secret passage in the cave. No one knows what the 22 means. Some people think there might be another secret cave in behind there. But the poem goes, take 20 steps and rest a while, then take a pick and find the stile. Where once I did my love beguile, 'twas 22 in Dashwood's time. Perhaps to hide this cell divine, where lay my love in peace sublime. When Churchill turned against the club, in Wilt's quarrel he wrote a poem with lines in it that seemed to give the same hint. Under the temple lay a cave, made by some guilty, coward slave, whose action feared rebuke even a maze of intricate and winding ways, not to be found without a clue, one passage only known to few. In paths direct, led to a cell where Frode in secret loved do dwell, were all her tools and slaves about her, nor fear lest honesty should rout her. So, who knows, maybe there is a secret cave, maybe there's not. Maybe that was a ghost manifesting behind me, and it's not really because I'm a lady of a certain age. I can't see that steam there. How strange. Anyway, we're going to carry on down here.
Within these gloom-kissed chambers, the club met. The entrance hall opens into the steward's chamber, then the Whitehead's cave, Lord Sandwich's circle, Franklin's cave, the banqueting hall, and it is said to be the largest man-made chalk cavern of its time. Beyond that, narrow tunnels lead to a place called the Inner Temple. To reach it, one must cross a subterranean stream named the Styx. In Greek myth, the Styx is the boundary between the living world and the underworld. So here, directly beneath St. Lawrence's Church, this river lies in darkness, as though the land is folding inwards, pulling secrets underneath. And we will see the river Styx in a moment. We will then go into the Inner Temple, and it's said that here is where the most private rites took place. They did mock religious ceremonies, worship of Venus and Bacchus, and yet the precise truth here will never be known. Some as rumour, some as embellishment, and some of it was political satire of the time. Over time, scrutiny grew. The Hellfire Club, after flourishing for many years in whispers, began to dissolve. Its meetings, its symbols, and its secrecy, many of their stuff was destroyed or removed. Sir Francis apparently ordered traces of any incriminating evidence to be extinguished. The plaques, the prints, even the pegs that bore the name of members by 1766 were removed. The club's members included influential figures of the time, politicians, aristocrats, and even artists. Although the true nature of their meetings is debated often, records suggest that they involved lavish feasts, drinking, theatrical rituals, and mock religious ceremonies. Critics of the time accused them of blasphemy, debauchery, even devil worship, though many of this has been exaggerated by political opponents of their time. Today visitors can walk the same route, entering through the flint facade, passing through each of the named chambers and crossing the Styx. And finally, at the end, you reach the inner temple, which is directly beneath the Church of St. Lawrence and the Dashwood family mausoleum directly above. And you can see some of the water and how damp it gets down here. Although the caves are now lit and very well maintained, the atmosphere down here is very striking. The chalk walls absorb sound and the narrow passages give an unsettling sense of being cut off from the outside world. And you can see here that Most Haunted, the TV show, visited in 2003. And here is the River Styx. So that was metaphorically where you passed from the living world over into the underworld. For many, this strange environment fuels the ghost stories and the supernatural legends that have become part of the Hellfire Club site's identity. And I know there's been loads of paranormal investigations down here. I would love to partake in one of those. And we're here going into the inner temple. Historians remind us that much of the Hellfire Club's reputation was shaped by political satire, rumour and gossip. Yet the combination of fact and folklore is what makes the Hellfire Caves one of Britain's most intriguing and historic sites. I think this is a very, very unique place to visit. I really, really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. And if you did enjoy today's video, if you could please like and subscribe, I really would appreciate it. And I shall see you for the next one. Maybe it'll be a haunt, maybe it'll be a jaunt. So stay spooky.